Hello and welcome to Angela Mackenzie Singing. So, how am I going to help you today with your singing? Well, today is Saturday Chat Day, where I have a little chat about the things I've been talking about during the week or just something relatively random about singing. Well, today I'm going to continue with my theme on singing out of tune, because as you know, I've been talking all this week about how you can sing out of tune, who sings out of tune, and what you can do about it. So all sorts of people can sing out of tune, even big stars, I was saying yesterday, like Ruthie Henschel. When she was poorly, she was singing out of tune. So my story today is about when I ended up singing out of tune, and it was pretty disastrous for me, actually. Now, just imagine this. My whole life was singing. I used to be an opera singer, some of you know. My whole life was singing. Everything was about singing. Everything was about getting better and better and singing bigger roles in bigger houses. And that is how I was thinking at that point. And I'd got a job in Bayreuth in Germany singing in the chorus, and that is a massive thing. It's where Wagner built his theatre to house his fantastic musical dramas, as he called them, his big operas. As you know, they go on for hours and hours and hours, and it was a real honour to get to sing in the chorus at Bayreuth, because you get all sorts of soloists in their own right singing in the chorus at Bayreuth, just to say that they were singing there. So I was really, really proud. Then I got the job at the Royal Opera House Covent Garden singing the chorus, did some covers, did a small role. It was all going so well. So I thought to myself, right, I'm going to push forward. I'm going to get some big solo roles in bigger houses now. I'm going to just go for it. This is my time. So I went to a singing teacher that was recommended to me, and I wanted to make sure I was doing pretty well, obviously, otherwise I wouldn't have been taken on by them. However, I felt as though that I could do more at the top of the voice. I felt as though it could open up more, so I needed to see a new singing teacher to help me do that. So I went along, and it was just wonderful. The voice felt free. I thought he'd done a fantastic job. I was feeling great. And I got asked back to sing at Bayreuth for my third year. And so I went along thinking, aha, this is my time. There's a lot of influential people there. When they hear me singing even better, this could be really good for my career. So off I went to Bayreuth, singing. We were singing something from, I think it was Flying Dutchman, and we were all singing in this big chorus room, the Chorsaal in Bayreuth. And suddenly the chorus master said, "Ooh, some of us were singing a bit soutif, which means flat, basically." And so he isolated to the alto section, which I was in. Then he took a row away, and they didn't sing, and just a few of us sang. And then he took another row away, and then he took another row away. And suddenly, I was in the row that had the flat person in it. I remember thinking, which one is singing flat? How awful for them. Anyway, as you'll probably guess by now, it was me. And they pulled me aside and took me to this room, and I was singing some stuff, and they were telling me that I was singing flat. Now, the awful thing was that I actually didn't believe it. I thought, how can that be? Listen to me, I'm sounding fabulous. But when the best coaches in the world are telling you that you're singing flat, then you've got to believe them. So at this point, I knew that if I couldn't sort it out, I would be sacked. There was no way that they were going to have someone singing flat in the best chorus in the world. So I knew that I had to do something about it. So I said, "Oh, don't worry, I've learned a new technique. I shall unlearn it and go back to my old way of singing. It'll be fine." I didn't know if I could do it. To cut a long story short, I did. I worked like mad in this little room, getting myself back to my old technique. Went and sung to them, all was well, continued to the end of the season, and it was all really good. However, so that all sounds good, sorted. But no, because after that, what happens is they ask you if you want to come back. And I was at the Royal Opera House, and a couple of my colleagues that also sung at Bayreuth had their letters, and I hadn't. So they didn't ask me back. And that was a lucrative 10-year contract for a freelance singer. That is really good contract to have. And it was a 10-week contract. There was one lady there that had been going back for 20 years. So, if things hadn't have worked out for me as a top soloist, then I would always have had that. But I didn't, because of that singing teacher that had me singing flat. So I'd continued with my my old technique, basically, and I still did well. I still continued at the Opera House, and I sung at the Salzburg Festival with Simon Rattle and all that sort of thing. So I did okay after that. But it really does throw you to know that you, as an experienced singer and a singing teacher, I've been doing that for years, I didn't know when I myself was singing flat. I had no idea. And I'm always saying trust the feelings. Trust the feelings. When it feels free, it's probably right. But it's not, I suppose the lesson that I'm saying here is, yes, trust the feelings and trust the teacher, and 99% of the time that will work. But you've also got to try and be aware of your own voice, and if you're changing things, get other people to listen to you and get them to be really, really honest. And if they're saying, oh, it's not quite as good as you used to be, or I don't know if that's so good, get them to be really, really honest and trust them, because you really don't know. And I should have recorded myself as well, and there's more opportunity to do that nowadays because of phones and everything. But it was a really terrible time in my life, I've got to say, because it was everything to me, my singing career, and I could see it going, whoa. Luckily it didn't. However, I decided to leave opera singing in a few years later anyway, and I didn't take it further. And sometimes I look back and I think, did that knock my confidence enough for me to kind of lose a little bit of impetus and not take my career forward? Having said that, I'm really pleased that I didn't, because now I'm running my show choirs, I'm doing these videos, I'm teaching, I'm doing workshops, I've done some fantastic things since then. But it's interesting, isn't it? So that's a story that was a very painful thing for me to share with you about when I was singing flat. So anybody can sing flat at any time. And now all my choir members that are seeing this will go, oh, I didn't know that. They'll be listening out to me now to see if I'm singing flat, but I'm not. So anyway, that's my little story for today. I will see you next week with more exciting singing tips to help you sing better. Have a lovely weekend, and I'll see you next week.